Universal Studios, Hollywood. The Samuel Goldwyn Company presents American Gladiators. Selected from a nationwide search, 20 men and women have come to Hollywood to challenge our force of American Gladiators for a single honor, to become American Gladiators champions. Now, here are your American Gladiators: Gemini, Lace, Nitro, Gold, Laser, Blaze, Thunder, Ice, Turbo, and Diamond. The host for American Gladiators, Mike Adamle, and his co-host, Larry Czonka.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Adamle, and welcome to this edition of the American Gladiators. Our quarterfinal round is underway, and for the contenders who have made it this far, well, they're starting to have big dreams. Maybe, just maybe, I can win the whole thing. Winning and thinking big have been a way of life for my co-host. He's Hall of Fame fullback from the Miami Dolphins, Mr. Larry Czonka. Good to have you here.
Good to be here with you.
Larry, there is a great sense of anticipation here. Some of the audience has been outside for over 2 hours waiting for this big event, and I think I saw a couple of tailgate parties.
Mike, you've hit it right on the head. It's playoff time. You remember back in the NFL days, some of the people would go out and actually bring sleeping bags and sleep the night before just to get in and get the good tickets, get the good seats.
Well, it hasn't become that big, but it's mighty close here on the American Gladiators. Our Gladiators, well, we know they are ready, but let's meet the contenders for this quarterfinal round.
In our women's quarterfinal, please welcome back Sheila Mercer of Phoenix, Arizona, a firefighter, and her opponent, Trish Tillotson of Wichita, Kansas, an elementary school teacher. In the men's competition, here's Rico Costantino of Santa Ana, California, a bodyguard, and his opponent, Nate Foster of Laguna Beach, California, a marketing and sales representative.
Trish Tillotson, the talented one from Wichita, Kansas. You draw in the quarterfinals someone you went up against in the preliminaries, Sheila Mercer. You've become good friends. Now you have to change your attitude a little bit, I suspect.
Kind of. Not really. I just really respect her and glad to be able to compete against her again.
The thing that we enjoyed the most was no matter what event and no matter how many times you competed against her, you always gave each other a hug after it was all over. Is that going to happen again here in the quarterfinals?
I would imagine so. We've gotten real close.
Trish, best of luck.
Thanks.
Nate, the decathlete from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, you came into the preliminary round as an alternate, and as such, you weren't allowed to compete in all the events. You couldn't, obviously, because of the situation at hand, but now you've got a clean slate, and you're all alone in the quarterfinals. Your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to competing against Rico Costantino. He's a great athlete, a great competitor. I think he's one of the best contenders here. So I think he's looking forward to competing against me, too.
Okay, Nate, best of luck. You too, Trish. Larry?
Sheila, you're a member of the Phoenix Firefighters. Is that right?
Phoenix Fire Department, that's right.
Great. I've run up on something on your resume I'd like to ask you about. It says on your resume, to become a member of the Phoenix Fire Department, a woman has 7 minutes and 20 seconds to raise a 30-foot extension ladder, turn on a fire hydrant, drag 200 feet of hose 200 feet, deliver 50 blows with a sledgehammer, and carry a 140-pound sandbag for 30 yards. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true, plus a little bit more. But you have to be in pretty good shape to save lives and lift those gurneys up. So I just hope by the end of this competition, I'm not the one being lifted.
Sheila, this is just another day at work for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be so much fun. I had so much fun last time.
Good deal. Rico, I understand you're involved in personal security. You've acted as a personal security agent for KISS, Iron Maiden, some others. Be honest now. Have you ever had to manhandle anyone that looked like some of these gladiators?
Nope. Nope.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, challenged. These guys are voted best of the best, and it's you try to measure yourself on what you can do. And these guys are real good. I feel real good competing against them.
Good enough. Good luck, Rico, Sheila, Mike.
Well, our contenders are smiling right now, and that's good because in just a few moments, our gladiators are going to change those countenances into grim faces of determination. Let the games begin. This is how our competition works in the American Gladiators. Our contenders, 2 men and 2 women. will compete in 7 very different events against our American Gladiators. Now, the contenders who amass the most points in those 7 confrontations automatically advance to the semifinals and also move one step closer towards our championship final. At stake, over $150,000 in cash and prizes. We're all set to go now with our first event. It's the joust, and here's Czonka with an explanation.
And Mike, our men's top seed, Rico, is up first, and earlier he mentioned the influences that have helped him through the years.
I went to public school up to 7th grade, and they told my father that don't expect anything higher than a C from me because I was a below-average student, and we decided I'd go to military school. And through the discipline of military school and the plenty of advantages of military school, it made me a better athlete and a better person all around.
And once again, the contenders, in this case Rico, have 30 seconds to knock the Gladiator from the pedestal. If they're successful at doing that, they earn 10 points.
Mike, Rico, obviously, in military school, has had a little experience in this. He comes out swinging.
Rico Costantino, definitely the more aggressive of the 2 combatants. He is able to knock Turbo off the pedestal. He earns 10 points. Rico, Rocky Balboa has nothing on you. You dreamed the impossible dream. You were almost off that pedestal 3 or 4 times, and somehow you managed to stay up there.
Man, hits hard. He's good.
You took a lot of shots there. You were on the ropes several times, yet you came back. In your mind, what did you say to yourself? What kept you on that pedestal?
Just perseverance, competition. I love competing. It's man against man. I do like it. He's a good competitor.
And in this case against Turbo, Rico, you were the best man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And a smiling Rico gets a hand from a happy crowd. Rico's opponent is Nate Foster, a one-time decathlete who entered the prelims as an alternate but carried a high enough score to advance to the quarterfinals.
Nate makes his home in Laguna Beach, California. He's a graduate of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo with a degree in business management. An All-American in the decathlon and the pole vault, attended the U.S. Olympic trials in 1980.
On guard. Straight up, straight up.
Turbo comes off the mark. He's not hanging back in this competition. And Turbo takes revenge to the dismay of Nate Foster. So Rico jumps to the early lead after one event. Still to come, Atmosphere and the wall. But next, it's the women's turn at the joust.
Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood, where the women are ready for their first event in this quarterfinal competition. And we've got a rematch between Sheila Mercer and Trish Tillotson. Sheila up first in the joust.
Sheila was defeated by Trish 99-39 in the first round. But our firefighter score was high enough to have her advance. Now in the joust, she'll face off with Diamond.
And Diamond's got a little payback coming. Both Sheila and Trish whipped her in the preliminary round in this event. Sheila trying to maintain her balance after taking some nasty shots early on. It looked like she had Diamond going, but Diamond ultimately the victor, Larry.
Well, Sheila's taken 4 or 5 good hits to the head here. It's not a wonder she lost her balance.
So a great chance for Trish Tillotson to take an early lead. A black belt in karate, Trish told us how martial arts has strengthened her mentally as well as physically.
It's just given me the ability to focus more than anything and to believe in myself. And when a challenge gets too great that I think, gosh, I'm scared to death and I can't do that. I remember all the things that I did as a little kid when I was studying karate, and my instructor, who was a Japanese instructor who really influenced my life. I think that, gosh, if I did it back then, I can do this now.
Well, remember, Trish did defeat Diamond in the joust during the preliminaries. Let's see if she can take her down in the quarterfinals as well.
Some wild swinging by both combatants early on. Trish almost off the back of that pedestal, but she hangs on. Now she's got Diamond going, and that's it.
Diamond unable to maintain her balance and steps across.
Trish, you know what your problem is? You don't get excited enough.
I love it!
It's obvious that intimidation is a big part of the Gladiators game. you were able to erase that, or at least reduce that to not being a factor at all. How did that happen?
They're human just like I am.
They put their costumes on one leg at a time, huh?
That's right.
Trish, you get 10 points. Congratulations.
Yeah!
Nice fight.
One leg at a time. A fired-up Trish grabs the early lead over our firefighter Sheila, 10-0. After one event on our men's side, Rico leads Nate by the identical margin. As our quarterfinal round now moves on to Atmosphere.
And Larry, in this event, the contenders have 60 seconds in which to maneuver their Atmosphere into any one of 4 red, white, and blue scoring pods. Now, the big catch in this event, of course, is our 2 gladiators. They're caged inside Atmospheres as well, and they'll be trying to stop the contenders from scoring. And once again, Rico Costantino has a 10-point lead over Nate Foster going into this event. Nate, a former decathlete, talked to us earlier about what it takes to compete here on the American Gladiators.
Someone who's not in shape isn't going to be able to come out here and do these events. They're not going to just be a weekend warrior that, you know, comes out every Saturday and Sunday and participates in something like this. You have to be someone who works out, who's in shape.
Ready red. Ready blue.
Our referee, Larry Thompson, making sure everything's in order for this Atmosphere event. Those plumes of white smoke, harmless nitrogen gas to indicate that the contenders have scored.
And Larry wastes no time clearing the area.
Smart man, it's not fun to get steamrolled. Incidentally, each goal in this quarterfinal round worth 3 points. And Rico there in the red cage on the verge of scoring, but he can't do it.
Mike, watching Gemini, he's getting very at home in his cage in here. We call him Rage in a Cage. But he's really learned how to operate that thing through the competition.
Speaking of operating, Rico operates his Atmosphere into that scoring pod, so he's picked up the early lead in this event. He's got 3 points, tries to get another, but the Gladiator keeps him out.
Both of our Gladiators, Laser and Gemini, doing an excellent job of shielding those pods. Rico trying to force into the pod. And there you see Nate pinned. Laser has him pinned against the sidewall as Rico rolls from fatigue.
Gemini says, you ain't going nowhere, Buster.
Again, Gemini and Laser doing a great job of shielding those pods.
Harder than it looks, isn't it, Rico?
Oh, it definitely is, but it's a blast. It's really fun.
You got 1 goal. That was the important thing. That's worth 3 points. Congratulations.
Great, thank you.
Let's move over here a second and talk to Nate. Nate, your problem was much the same one that drivers out here in Southern California experienced during rush hour. There was just too much traffic.
Yeah, it's amazing. You think you can get away somewhere and you can change direction in this thing, but the weight of it it's tough to maneuver. And then you've got a guy like Laser he's quick and he's just stayed on me the whole time. Couldn't go anywhere, couldn't score.
All right, Nate, don't worry, you'll come back. All right.
Rico wins this Atmosphere battle over Nate 3-0 and increases his lead to 13-0 after 2 events.
The women are up next, and our firefighter, Sheila Mercer from Arizona, told us how the American Gladiators is like on-the-job training.
You have to be able to react to different situations because endless amount of things can happen. And I think this will really help me being on the American Gladiators because you never know what each gladiator is going to do. So you have to be able to react quickly, to what they do. And I think that'll help me.
As we see Sheila buttoned up and ready in her Atmosphere to do a little battle against Lace and also against Gold as we see Gold getting into her vehicle.
And you might remember in the preliminary round, Sheila Mercer and Trish Tillotson waged a spirited battle, but became best friends because of it. And now here they are going against one another again.
Ready red. Ready blue. Gladiators ready.
Actually, both contenders qualified for the American Gladiators in Phoenix, Arizona, and that's where their relationship began. But right now they have a singular purpose, and that's to score against Lace and Gold. And Sheila Mercer in the red Atmosphere scores first.
Trish seizing the opportunity, the kind of a block pod. Now she gets down to the far end and scores some points herself. Trish wasting no time getting that pod rolling. She's kind of the distance gal in here, Mike.
Sheila on her knees, and yep, she gets that one to settle in there. It's all tied at 6 apiece. Again, each goal worth 3 points. And another goal for Trish Tillotson. And she's on her way to another one. So all of a sudden, it's 12-6. Sheila, again, desperately trying to score before time runs out and can't do it. And as our contenders catch their breath, here's Larry with Lace.
Lace, good job. Let me ask you something. You've been in here several times. You've been in Atmosphere. You've done very well at it. What's the most difficult part of it?
Well, I think getting it turned around and going in a different direction once you've got it rolling pretty good in a direction downstage, and suddenly the contender decides they're going to fake you out and go backwards. It's getting it stopped and getting it going back the other way.
Well, you did a great job doing it. Thanks for a great competition.
Thank you.
Sheila, you didn't score as many times as I know that you would have liked to, but the important thing is you got on the scoreboard.
I took a few rolls. I had a little bit out of control in me, a little bit too excited, I think, but at least I'm on the scoreboard now.
6 points, but like you said, you're on the scoreboard. All right, Sheila.
But Trish did roll away to a 12-6 win in Atmosphere. So now, after 2 events in our women's quarterfinal, she now leads Sheila 22-6. There's more action to come here at American Gladiators, including Breakthrough and Conquer, our game of assault. Next up, the wall.
Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood, where our contenders await the wall. And in this event, our 2 contenders, rigged in safety harnesses, will climb side by side, making their way up with the help of these specially designed grips in an attempt to make it to the summit first. And after 2 events thus far, Rico Costantino has the lead over Nate Foster.
As you see Nate Foster getting ready to scale the wall, he'll be followed up the wall by Thunder.
This is bullseye.
And Rico getting ready to scale the wall also with a big smile. And he'll be followed up the wall by Nitro.
Ready?
Each contender given a 10-second head start. Nate Foster in the blue, Rico Costantino in the red.
Both contenders moving very well early on as the Gladiators hit the wall behind them. Might have to break their concentration a little bit, wouldn't you think, Mike?
Well, just the sound of them pounding the wall ought to shake their concentration. But Rico is undaunted.
and hanging on by one arm.
Rico Costantino with great upper body strength. Yeah, he made it there first.
You can never say that Rico doesn't get into the competition. Nate Foster having some problems. Turbo had a hold of him, then slips off the wall. All Nate has to do at this point is go on up the wall. The Gladiator's off behind him. It's just a matter of concentration.
Come on, Nate.
He's operating under the 60-second clock and is going to be very close to whether he makes it to the top in time. I'm afraid the clock's run out.
Good job, Nate.
Nate, it would have been the easiest thing in the world for you to give up, but you were persistent. You plugged all the way. You just ran out of time. Your hand was about that far from making it to the top before the whistle blew.
Oh, man. It's a lot tougher than I expected. I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to fall. I got to get up this thing. It went well in practice. I don't know what happened.
To do well in this event, you do have to have the nerve of a riverboat gambler, and you did take some chances. You were actually doing one-arm giant swings out there.
Yeah, they put the grips in a different place, and you have to grab for the grips with the big hooks on them there. And if the Gladiator's close to you and just gets a hand on your ankle, you're off.
This was a case where that superior upper body strength of yours and hand gripping power really paid off. Congratulations. 32 seconds, incidentally, for Rico to make it to the top.
And Rico's section has reason to cheer as he takes 10 more points away from the wall. As a result, Rico increases his lead over Nate after 3 events. The women are at the base of the wall now, where Trish has the lead over Sheila.
And as our female contenders await their 32-foot climb, we will tell you that Sheila has drawn Blaze, and Trish Tillotson, well, she had an interesting phobia entering this competition.
Actually, in my whole life, I've kind of had a fear of heights. So I've had to really overcome that, and it's neat, I have, because almost everything we do is at a height. So that's been a little tough, but it's been wonderful, too, because now I really don't have a fear at all.
Well, as you remember, Trish didn't show any fear in the preliminary rounds where she made it up to the top in 44 seconds. Now, in this round, she's going to face ice.
Sheila in the red, Trish in the blue. Again, the contenders given a 10-second head start. Both contenders using those grips to wend their way up the wall. Blaze hot on Sheila's heels. The same can be said for Ice chasing Trish, and Blaze has got a hold of Sheila, and off the wall she goes.
With Trish hanging on for dear life with both hands on one grip, and she comes off the wall. But Trish does take away 5 points for reaching the higher level. So now, after 3 events, she leads Sheila by a count of 27-6. And over in our men's competition, Rico Costantino pulls a commanding lead over Nate Foster as they prepare for our next event.
And that next event is called Breakthrough and Conquer. It's a two-parter where each contender has a chance to earn a total of 10 points. 5 points if they can score a touchdown against the Gladiator in Breakthrough, and another 5 points if they can knock the Gladiator outside of that ring in Conquer. Nate Foster's up first.
And he's going to be facing off with Turbo. Nate at 5'11", 188 pounds, is giving up some size and some weight, obviously, against Turbo. Let's see what kind of move he uses. Well, Michael wasn't much of a move at all. Turbo read it and put him to the mat.
Telegraph City. Nate Foster's mission is not over, however. He's got another chance here in the Conquer ring. Gemini, however, a very formidable foe.
Gemini using that upper body strength to keep Nate away. They're very close to the edge. Let's listen for the call.
Time is out. No score.
You heard referee Larry Thompson's decision, no score, and for Gemini and Turbo, just another day at the office.
Turbo, yeah, I tell you what, you look like a world-class middle linebacker. You look like the How to Do It film for the NFL. The way you came up to the 5-yard line, kept your balance, moved, stuck your face in the numbers, took the man down.
Well, I just thank you for the compliment, and I'm happy that I'm too young to have done that to you.
I'll be forever glad that you didn't have to do that. Everybody else did, Turbo. It was a great job. Gemini, in the circle, you did a great job keeping him off of you.
Yeah, the one thing, the contender made a mistake by keeping his head down too low. So I was able to keep his head pinned and just keep the feet moving. Right toward the end, I got a little bit relaxed and got toward the edge. The key for the Gladiators is try to stay in the center of the ring as much as possible.
If we have any contenders in the audience right now, I'm sure they're listening to what you're saying and they'll try to apply it. Great job, fellas.
And so now it's Rico Costantino's turn to do battle with Turbo and Gemini. And those chants you hear, well, Rico, 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 well, they could spell trouble for our Gladiators, as Rico told us earlier.
I feed off the fans. I take that energy, and I do feed off it. And the louder they get, the more I hear my name, or the more I hear the cheers, it just grows in me, and it bubbles over like a volcano, and then all of a sudden the whistle goes, and then you just turn it loose.
This is a perfect time for Rico to explode, but Turbo once again says nothing doing.
Seems like Turbo fed off of those cheers as well, because he stopped Rico short of 5 points in Breakthrough.
Now inside the Conquer ring, Rico trying to take Gemini up high. I don't know if that's a good idea, but it pays off there. And Gemini can't believe it. And if there's one contender that Gemini loves to beat, it's Rico Costantino. So he'll be back. Gemini will remember.
So 5 points for Rico and Conquer, then high fives for a crowd that probably deserves an assist. After 4 events, Rico opens his lead over Nate 28-0. Still to come on American Gladiators, our game of assault, Powerball. But up next, women's Breakthrough and Conquer.
Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood, where Trish Tillotson leads Sheila Mercer in this quarterfinal matchup as Gold and Diamond take the turf for a Breakthrough and Conquer.
Trish getting ready to go against Gold in breakthrough. Trish, resident of Wichita, Kansas. We'll see if she can put the Kansas Comet move on Gold.
And Gold has that middle linebacker look in her eyes.
Whoa! High shot right to the chin. Gold feels her chin, a little numb there.
Larry, Trish looked like you in your heyday.
Boy, she laid it right on her chin now.
Now a chance to pick up another 5 against Diamond, and Diamond, short work for Trish Tillotson.
Trish revved up. She comes in here with long strides and puts the point of the ball of her fist on Gold's chin and puts Gold down for the count.
Gold, no doubt, shaking out the cobwebs as Sheila Mercer tries to pick up where Trish left off.
Ready?
Well, this time Gold meets Sheila Mercer low and no score. Takes her down before she crosses the goal line.
Ready?
Again, the contender has 10 seconds to take any part of the Gladiator's body outside the ring. Short work against the contender. Sheila Mercer picks up 5 points.
Sheila using a little bit of a fireman's carry. But Trish wins breakthrough and conquer, and now after 4 events, she leads Sheila by a count of 37-11. In our men's quarterfinal, Rico leads Nate as they now take aim in assault.
And Larry, here's what the contender sees as they try to maneuver through the course in an effort to hit a target placed above the Gladiator, using a variety of weapons. First the crossbow, then it's a mad dash across the floor to the rocket launcher. If unsuccessful there, it's on to a cannon. Then the contender can move closer for an attempt to hit the target with a pistol. Now, a final effort to hit the target can be made with 3 softballs. And if all else fails, 4 points will be awarded to the contender if they can cross the finish line without being hit by a tennis ball that travels, you got it, in excess of 100 miles per hour. And doing the honors for the Gladiators is Laser.
Ready?
Rico Costantino first up. You heard him. Take your best shot, Laser. I'm going to pick you off. Let's see what happens. No dice there.
Rico keeping a good upfield stance, keeping an eye on Laser at all times. But he's trying to keep a little more than an eye on Laser. As he nearly takes Laser's leg off with the bazooka.
That's a good idea. Keep the Gladiator off balance. And again, he does it. Again, the contender has 60 seconds to get the job done. So he's also working against the clock. The shot with the pistol is wide left. And that final evasive maneuver right there didn't pay off for Rico as Laser was able to nail him on the hip. Rico might have been better off making a straight line towards that final safe zone. Larry?
Rico, you did very well. You went a lot further, actually, now than you did in the preliminaries. What happened there at the end? You just didn't see it coming, or what?
Well, I saw it, but making 210 dive at the right time when he's firing a 100-mile-an-hour tennis ball, a little rough.
Gets a little tough to dodge as you get closer to Laser's gun, doesn't it?
It is. 100 miles an hour is fast.
You were moving through there. It was fine exhibition. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So now Nate Foster, who is desperately in need of points, has a chance to get off the snide. Through 4 events, Nate Foster is scoreless.
Ready?
Nate trying to figure out how to use that crossbow.
Well, when he rushed into that safe zone, Mike, he knocked it around a little bit, disheveled the arrow a little bit.
That shot was disheveled.
That shot was way off to the right.
Larry, I think Nate accidentally pulled the trigger as he was trying to take aim, but it doesn't matter as Laser's able to pick him off on the way to that 3rd safe zone.
Well, if you notice, Nate, as he was going through the course, we're going to see it right here, does a good job of looking upfield, but then he starts to look for a place to land, and when he takes his eye off, he gets hit. So Laser shuts out the men in assault. So our scoring remains the same now after 5 events. Over in our women's competition, Trish leads Sheila as they prepare for assault.
And when it comes to accurate shooting, nobody's better at this event than Lace. She'll be doing the honors for the Gladiators. Sheila Mercer will be trying to score some points and avoid those tennis balls. Again, we've said it many times, but they hit you, they sting. They travel in excess of over 100 miles an hour.
Sheila trying a little different maneuver, coming up over the left corner of the safe zone. Comes pretty close with the arrow. Again, she looked like she was shooting more at the Gladiator than the bullseye, Mike.
And that look on her face, I don't know if it's sheer determination or fear. I'll tell you what, she's got Lace worried up there. Set yourself now. One final chance, and she doesn't make it to the final safe zone. Lace has done the job again.
Sheila caught one on the right side of her noggin, just a little off the side of the goggles. Watch right here on her right temple. The ball strikes her good. You can see her hair fly. That has to hurt.
Sheila, take 2 aspirin, call me in the morning, and the next time you play this game, keep your eye on the Gladiator. That's certainly what Trish Tillotson will try to do now.
Ready?
Trish looks like a gyroscope going from safe zone to safe zone.
A bead of water in a hot frying pan. Bouncing all over the place. I tell you what, though, her shots have been pretty darn good. Trish trying her hand with the cannon, but she exposes too much of her body, and Lace was able to find an opening and pick her off.
Watch on the replay. You're going to see Lace's shot come left of the cannon and pick up Trish right on the edge of her chest protector. And that has to smart. As the Gladiators go 4 for 4 in assault. The women's score stays the same after 5 events. Still to come is our eliminator, but up next, Powerball.
Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood for this quarterfinal round of the American Gladiators. In the men's competition, Rico leads Nate 28-zip as our contenders stand by for Powerball, which of course is our 45-second contest of speed and endurance in which contenders try to score in one of 5 scoring cylinders. However, trying to deter our contenders will be Nitro, Thunder, and Turbo. And in this quarterfinal round, goals scored in the center cylinder are worth 4 points. The outer cylinder is worth 2. Rico Costantino right off the bat gets around Nitro and puts one in for 2 points.
Rico making a nice move as we see Nate score on the outside.
Nate taking advantage of that double team on Rico. Nitro keeping Rico out of the scoring area.
Don't score, red. Let him out.
Now it's Nate who draws the double team as Rico scores against Nitro again.
Sullivan weighs 211 pounds. He has very good moves. Unfortunately, he runs into that double team occasionally. And Nate takes a body slam from Turbo to the turf.
Very rudely, I might add. And that's it. 4 to the final.
Rico again smiling. He's done very well in this. Nate took quite a beating during the course of this competition.
Nate, my man, the drought is finally over. You are on the scoreboard, but boy, did you pay the price.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do the eliminator in 15 seconds to catch up to Rico.
We ought to take you back over there because your face, there's still an imprint of your face over by that one cone.
God, it's a great way to celebrate my birthday.
Your birthday today? How old?
33.
33, and you're on the scoreboard. All right, Nate. But, big man, you continue to roll. You won this event 4-2.
Perseverance, I'm telling you, it's perseverance. Because you're not going to run over them. They just make, move, fake, juke.
And that's hard to do when they're double teaming you most of the time.
Oh, I take that as a compliment. If they think I play that well, that they have to double team me, you take it that way. You just persevere more.
Rico, nicely done. Well done. And it's good to have you on the scoreboard, Nate.
Nate's on the scoreboard. Rico continues to smile as he wins a tough battle of Powerball and further cushions his lead over Nate after 6 events. After 5 events in our women's competition, Trish leads Sheila as they get ready to take on Blaze, Ice, and Diamond in Powerball.
And Larry, as we have said so often in this event, intimidation a big part of the Gladiators game. However, Trish Tillotson and Sheila Mercer aren't the type of women who get intimidated easily. You might remember their preliminary round. There was some bad blood going on between the Gladiators and these two women. Let's see if it happens again. Trish, quick out of the blocks, can't get on track, and neither can Sheila. Diamond had a big-time headlock on her.
Oh, Trish takes a wicked hit in the left cheekbone from Diamond. Sends her off into the cushion.
She scored, and so did Sheila right there, but Trish, I tell you what, she is not afraid of anybody. Whoa! I tell you, Ice hits you so hard, my teeth are rattling.
It's a very physical match, one of the most physical I've seen.
Again, endurance a big part of it. Trish Tillotson seems to have more of it.
Trish Tillotson and Diamond have been getting in each other's way through this competition. We see one that's taken place a little earlier as Trish drives for the scoring pod. Diamond comes in, right forearm to the side of the head, puts Trish after she scores the gold over the scoring pod and into the nickel seat.
She is one tough woman, and so is Sheila Mercer. However, this was Sheila's only goal of the game. After 6, Trish now has a 30-point advantage over Sheila. Who will advance to the semis? We'll find out in the Eliminator. Welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood, and we're ready now for our final event, the all-new Eliminator.
Mike, both contenders start at the treadmill and must run against the belts in an effort to reach the top. Once there, each contender must cross a 30-foot span by means of a specially designed hand bike. Then, across the balance beam, where instead of medicine balls, Gladiators now throw weighted blocking pads at the contenders.
And then they have to scramble up a 20-foot cargo net. From there, a wild ride down a zip line, which will carry the contenders across the entire length of the arena floor. And then it's a final straightaway, where the contenders will have to negotiate a set of hurdles. And then an important decision, which lane to pick. Behind 3 of these doors are Gladiators all bent on stopping the contenders from crossing the finish line. And those contenders, Sheila Mercer and Trish Tillotson.
Sheila Mercer trails Trish Tillotson by 30 coming in, so that translates to a 15-second margin for Sheila to make up here.
And should the contenders fall off any of these obstacles, those are 5-point penalties. Sheila was the first to reach the hand bike, but she falters a bit, and Trish has taken the lead.
Trish has a little more upper body strength as she... Whoa! She takes a spill off of the beam, costing herself some valuable time and points.
So Sheila could make this very interesting here. She's the first to scramble up the cargo net.
Trish having a lot of trouble getting back up on the deck to get to the cargo net.
Sheila to the zip line first. Perfect 2-point landing, 1-point landing, I guess. Over the hurdles.
Now, which door?
Wrong one there. Lace gives Sheila a hip check and kind of stops her a little bit. Here comes Trish. That was Diamond waiting for her. Now the question, does she cross the finish line in enough time to beat Sheila Mercer?
Mike, the answer is yes, and Trish will advance to the semifinals.
Sheila, you had an insurmountable lead to overcome, and Trish was assessed a 10-point penalty because she fell off the balance beam. Still, that was not enough to beat her here in the Eliminator final. You've gone through 7 very rough events, the preliminaries, now the quarterfinals. You're going to go back to Phoenix and back to the fire department job. What are you going to tell your friends?
I'm going to tell them, hey, I gave it my best shot, and I did the best I could, and unfortunately, it wasn't good enough.
Indeed you did, Sheila. Congratulations. Thanks for being with us.
So much fun. I thank everybody for everything. It's been a blast. I can't tell you.
It was a blast having you. Trish, first of all, are you all right? You took a terrible tumble on that balance beam.
Yeah, I got a few scrapes and bruises, but I'm going to make it.
Congratulations. The pride and joy of Wichita, Kansas. Trish Tillotson is going on to the semifinals.
So, congratulations to Trish Tillotson with her win over Sheila Mercer. In our men's quarterfinals, Rico leads Nate by 30 points. So as was the case with the women, Nate will have to win by 15 seconds to advance.
And Rico would have to trip, stumble, and fall, and a whole lot more for Nate Foster to go on. But anything can happen in the eliminator. Nate in the blue, Rico in the red. And look at Rico really work that hand bike.
Again, Rico capitalizing with that superior upper body strength, blows the dummy out of his way and hits the cargo net on the run.
A huge lead. Down the zip line he comes. I think he knows he's got it won. He just wants to finish with a flourish, a little pizzazz. Goes low on turbo. Has to scramble across the finish line, and he does. Now Nate will finish things up. Nice form over the hurdles. He catches a break here. Nobody behind the door. Good effort for Nate Foster, but it's Rico who advances. Larry?
Nate's kind of been a rough day as far as getting points, hasn't it?
Hey, it sure has, Larry. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad Rico's doing a great job. He's tearing it up, and I think he's probably going to win it.
Well, we certainly had a good time watching you compete. Rico, great job. Went through it. You've been smiling all day. I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed watching you compete, and even more, I've enjoyed watching you get prepared for it. They call it the Rico Rock around here. You just sit down and concentrate on each event, right?
Yeah, mind, focus your mind and body. Visualize, see yourself through the event, see yourself going through the event, and just put your dreams into action.
Well, you did a fine job, and of course you're going to move on to our semifinals. It was very, very entertaining watching you both. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take a big round of applause for our two contenders.
So after rolling his way past turbo, Rico rocks his way to the semis.